I think there's two paths. The first and the easiest one is probably podcasting. I love the video podcast. Again, I still create for Spotify and Apple and all that stuff. But the reason I'm doing it for YouTube, number one, I like seeing the reaction of the other person. And for me, again, it's all about that watch time. I want people to invest time watching us have a conversation. I think it leads more to trust. It builds more equity there. I use it as a way to access people I normally wouldn't be able to access. And two, I use it as a lead generation tool. And here's what I mean. We have Elevated Coaches Academy, we have our agency, and then also I do sales consulting for corporations. The hardest part about doing sales consulting for corporations, getting access to certain people, right? Because if you go into the DMs of somebody on LinkedIn, for example, and go, hey, I have a awesome workshop that I think would be a good fit for your sales team, they are pitched a billion times. But if I go into your DMs and go, hey, will you join my podcast? I'm gonna give you something. I'm giving you brand awareness. I'm giving you the opportunity to talk about your message and so on and so forth. And so you're more likely to jump on that podcast. Well, now you've spent an hour with me. More than likely at the end of that hour, if you haven't already, you're gonna ask, what do you do? And there's my opportunity to then pitch. But the idea is that for that first hour, we're just making sure that it works. I use this too for lead generation for our academy. And the reason why is because some people are not gonna be a good fit. If you talk to somebody for an hour, you have a really good judgment of whether or not they're going to be a good client or not, because you spent an hour with them. And you may get to the end of that podcast and yeah, you learned something great from them, but also you may go, well, that's not going to be a good client for me, so you don't even pitch. So I love the podcast for that reason. If you're smart, you bring on guests that your ideal client can learn the most from. Because again, the goal we're looking at here when creating a YouTube channel is we want our ideal client to go to us for all their information, become the Google, so to speak, of your industry. So you think about, all right, who are all the guests that we could bring on that would best serve our client? The second way is doing what I'm doing now, which essentially is doing free masterclasses. It's really good, obviously, to come up with searchable stuff, people that are already searching for information, but also to create long form around helping and serving and giving trainings, I call them, right? What is the purpose of doing trainings? It's almost like a trial run, it's a test drive. Imagine if you're a coach and you're doing trainings like this and somebody reaches out and says, hey, I'm really interested in joining your coaching program. Well, send them one of your trainings and basically that way they can see if they can see themselves being coached by you. There's been people that I've talked to and said, hey, Raylen, like I've been watching your content now for the last year. I wanna jump on a call with you. We get on the call and they feel like they know me because they've been listening to me talk for over a year. Now, I already have tons of trust built up. So at this point, it's just me to get caught up and make sure they're gonna be a good fit and I can serve them. But still, at the end of the day, if you do these types of trainings, it's a great way to give your audience a way to test drive you as their coach. I'm curious though, like, how are you using YouTube? What's your game plan and what have you been doing? So with that being said, as always, we have trainings right up here. Go and check those out. As always, stay motivated and stay elevated. I'll see you in the next one.